My name is Evelyn Hart, and I am 34 years old. I live in a part of Los Angeles, California, where the sun always seems to be shining a little too brightly and the rent is always a little too high. I have lived here for nearly a decade, and I have worked very hard to build a life that I am proud of. I am a freelance graphic designer, which means I spend a lot of time at home working on my computer. I love my apartment because it is small and cozy, and it has a large window that looks out over the street. But the most important thing about my apartment is not the view or the natural light. The most important thing is my parking spot. In Los Angeles, a parking spot is not just a place to put your car. It is a status symbol and a peace of mind. My building is old, and it only has a very small parking lot in the back with 6 assigned spaces. My lease clearly states that space number 4 belongs to me. I pay an extra $200 every month just to have that spot. It is a gated lot, but the gate is old and slow, and sometimes it stays open for a few minutes after a car enters. This was never a problem until the woman in the white Mercedes moved into the building across the street. The building across from mine does not have its own parking lot. The people who live there have to park on the street, and street parking in this neighborhood is a nightmare. You have to circle the block for 20 minutes just to find a spot that is 3 blocks away from your front door. I always felt lucky that I did not have to deal with that stress. That was until a Tuesday afternoon in the middle of July. I had just come back from the grocery store with 4 heavy bags of food. I pulled into the alleyway and waited for the gate to open. When I drove into the lot, I saw a shiny white Mercedes parked right in the middle of space number 4. I was confused at first. I thought maybe a friend was visiting or maybe someone had made a mistake. I parked my car behind the Mercedes, blocking it in, and waited for a few minutes. Nobody came out. I had to move my car back to the street because I did not want to block the other neighbors. I ended up parking 4 blocks away and carrying my heavy groceries all the way home in the heat. By the time I got to my front door, I was sweating and angry. I went to the back lot and looked at the car. It had a little sticker on the back window that looked like a social media handle. I realized this person probably lived in the building across the street and had followed a neighbor through the gate. I wrote a polite note on a piece of yellow paper. I said that this was a private lot and that they were parked in an assigned spot. I asked them to please move the car and not park there again. I tucked the note under the windshield wiper and went inside. The next morning, I looked out my window and saw the white Mercedes was gone. I also saw my yellow note crumbled up on the ground like a piece of trash. I felt a little spark of anger, but I told myself it was just a one-time thing. I was wrong. 2 days later, I came home from a meeting with a new client, and there it was again. The white Mercedes was sitting in my spot like it owned the place. This time, I was not so polite. I knocked on the doors of my neighbors to see if any of them knew who owned the car. My neighbor, Mr. Henderson, who lives on the first floor, opened his door. Mr. Henderson is about 80 years old, and he has lived in the building since the 1970s. He is a grumpy man who does not like noise or change, but he has always been kind to me. I asked him if he knew who owned the white Mercedes. He told me that he had seen a young woman getting out of it earlier that day. He said she looked like she was about 25 years old and was wearing very expensive gym clothes. He watched her walk right out of our gate and into the building across the street. I thanked him and went to the building across the street. I stood by the front door and waited until someone came out so I could slip inside. I started knocking on doors on the first floor. When I got to the third door, a woman answered. She was exactly as Mr. Henderson described. She had long blonde hair and was holding a phone in front of her face like she was recording a video. I told her that she was parked in my private spot and that she needed to move her car right now. She looked at me like I was a fly that she wanted to swat away. She told me that the street was full and she did not want to walk far because she had expensive shoes on. She said it was not a big deal and that I should just find somewhere else to park because I looked like I needed the exercise anyway. I was stunned. I have never met someone so rude in my entire life. I told her that I pay for that spot and that it is illegal for her to be there. She just laughed and shut the door in my face. I could hear her talking to her phone through the door, saying something about how her neighbors were so dramatic and obsessed with her. I went back to my apartment and called my landlord. My landlord is a man named Mr. Miller who lives in San Diego. He is very lazy and does not like to deal with problems. I explained the situation to him and he told me that he would look into it. He said he had to find the contact for the towing company and that he would call me back. He never called me back. For the next week, the woman who I later found out was named Tiffany parked in my spot every single day. She would wait for a car to leave the lot, and then she would dart inside before the gate closed. It was like a game to her. I tried to block her in one afternoon, but she called the police. When the police arrived, they told me that I could not block a vehicle in even if it was on my property. They said it was a civil matter, and that I had to have the car towed by the official company listed on the sign in the lot. The problem was that the sign in our lot was so old that the phone number on it was disconnected. I searched the internet for the name of the company, but it seemed like they had gone out of business years ago. I felt like I was losing my mind. I was paying for a spot that I could not use, and the person stealing it was mocking me. Every time I saw Tiffany, she would smirk at me or make a comment about how much she loved her new free parking spot. She even started posting videos on her social media about how she had hacked the parking system in Los Angeles. She called herself a genius. One night, I was sitting on my balcony feeling very defeated. I was looking down at my empty spot because Tiffany had not come home yet. Mr. Henderson was sitting on his porch below me smoking a cigar. He looked up and saw me. He asked me why I looked so sad. I told him everything. I told him about the landlord not helping and the towing company being out of business and the police saying they could not do anything. Mr. Henderson took a long puff of his cigar and smiled. He told me that he knew a secret. He said that back in the 1980s, he used to own a towing business himself. He told me that he still had some old friends in the industry. He also told me that the landlord, Mr. Miller, actually owed Mr. Henderson a lot of money for some repairs that were never paid for. Mr. Henderson said he was tired of seeing that white car in our lot too because Tiffany always played loud music when she drove in and out. He told me to go inside and get some sleep and that we would handle it together in the morning. I did not know what he meant, but I trusted him. The next morning was a Saturday. I woke up at 7 o'clock to the sound of a loud engine. I ran to my window and looked out. There was a massive tow truck idling in the alleyway. It was not a modern tow truck with bright lights and fancy equipment. It was an old heavy-duty truck that looked like it could pull a house. Mr. Henderson was standing next to the truck talking to a man who looked just as old and grumpy as he was. I threw on some clothes and ran downstairs. Mr. Henderson introduced me to his friend, whose name was Bill. Bill owned a towing and recovery yard in a very far corner of the city near the harbor. Mr. Henderson explained that since our landlord had failed to provide a working tow service for the building, he had taken it upon himself to sign a new contract as the building's oldest tenant and representative. He had even called Mr. Miller and told him that if he did not sign the paper, he would sue him for the money he was owed. Mr. Miller had signed the paper via email 5 minutes later. This meant that Bill was now the official tow operator for our lot. And Bill was not a nice man to people who broke the rules. We waited. Around 10 o'clock, the white Mercedes pulled into the alley. Tiffany was wearing a bright pink outfit and was talking into her phone as she drove. She waited for a neighbor to leave, and then she zoomed into my spot. She got out of the car and did not even look around. She just walked out the gate and headed toward her building. As soon as she was out of sight, Bill moved his truck into position. He did not use the soft touch. He hooked up that Mercedes with heavy chains and lifted it into the air. I have never seen anything so beautiful in my life. The metal groaned and the tires left the ground. Bill told me that since she was parked on private property without a permit, he was taking it to his primary impound lot. He said his lot was located in a place called San Pedro, which is about 30 miles away from our neighborhood. He also told me that his lot was only open for pickups between 4 and 5 in the morning on weekdays, and that he only accepted cash. I started to laugh. This was perfect. But the revenge was only just beginning. Mr. Henderson told me that we should make sure she knew exactly where her car went. He had printed out a very official-looking sign that said this lot is monitored by private security and all unauthorized vehicles will be towed to the San Pedro impound facility. He posted the sign right in front of my parking spot. About 2 hours later, I heard a scream from the street. I looked out my window and saw Tiffany standing in the middle of the parking lot. She was spinning around in circles looking for her car. She looked like she was about to cry. She saw the new sign and started screaming even louder. She took out her phone and started filming herself. She was telling her followers that someone had stolen her car and that she was being targeted by her jealous neighbors. She ran over to my building and started banging on the gate. I went down to the gate and met her there. I had a calm smile on my face. She asked me where her car was. I pointed to the sign. I told her that the new towing company had come through and removed all the trash from the lot. She started shouting at me, demanding that I call them and tell them to bring it back. I told her that I did not have the power to do that. I told her that she would have to go down to San Pedro to get it. I also mentioned that I heard they only take cash and that the fees were very high. Her face turned bright red. She told me that she did not have a car to get to San Pedro and that a taxi would cost a fortune. I reminded her that she said I needed the exercise and maybe she could walk there because it would be good for her health. She looked like she wanted to explode. She spent the rest of the day trying to call the number on the sign, but Bill was not answering his phone. He had told us he was going fishing for the afternoon and would not be back until Sunday night. This meant that Tiffany was without a car for the entire weekend. On Monday morning, I saw her getting into a very expensive rideshare car at 4 in the morning. She looked exhausted, and she was not filming anything. When she finally got her car back, she had to pay over $800 in towing and storage fees. Bill had charged her for the maximum amount allowed by law plus a special fee for using heavy-duty equipment. But even after all that, Tiffany did not learn her lesson right away. She tried to park in the lot again a few days later. But this time, she did not know that Mr. Henderson had given Bill a key to the gate. As soon as she parked, Bill was around the corner. He towed her again before she even made it to her apartment. This time, he took her car to a different lot even further away. He told her that since she was a repeat offender, her car was being held for a mandatory 48-hour inspection. This was not actually a real thing, but Tiffany did not know the law. She had to pay another $1,200 to get her car back the second time. After the second tow, Tiffany finally stopped parking in our lot. But the story does not end there. Because she had spent so much money on towing fees, she started falling behind on her rent. I heard from another neighbor that she was being evicted from her building across the street. Apparently, she had also been filming her videos in the common areas of her building, and the other tenants had complained about her. One afternoon, I saw a moving truck parked on the street. Tiffany was carrying boxes out of her building, and she looked miserable. She saw me standing on my balcony, and she stopped. She pointed at me and shouted that I had ruined her life. I did not say anything. I just raised my coffee mug in a toast. As the moving truck drove away, I felt a great sense of peace. My parking spot was empty, and it stayed empty until I got home that night. Now every time I pull into space number 4, I think about Mr. Henderson and Bill. I think about how important it is to respect other people and their property. Mr. Henderson and I are good friends now. We have a little tradition where we sit in the parking lot on Friday evenings and have a drink. We watch the gate and make sure no one tries to sneak in. The landlord even gave Mr. Henderson a discount on his rent for managing the parking situation. It turns out that being a good neighbor pays off, and being an entitled person eventually catches up to you. I still see Tiffany on social media sometimes because I could not help but look up her profile. She is now living with her parents in a different state, and she spends most of her time complaining about how mean people are in Los Angeles. She never mentioned the parking spot or the fact that she was the one who started the whole mess. But that is okay. I know the truth, and so does Mr. Henderson. The best part of the whole situation was the unexpected twist that happened a month later. I received a letter in the mail from a lawyer. I was worried at first, thinking Tiffany was trying to sue me. But when I opened the letter, I realized it was not from her. It was from the city of Los Angeles. It turns out that when Bill towed her car the second time, he had reported her vehicle identification number to the city database. The city realized that the white Mercedes had over $5,000 in unpaid parking tickets from all over the city. They had been looking for that car for over a year to impound it permanently. Because I was the one who reported the unauthorized parking through our new tow service, the city sent me a small reward for helping them locate a vehicle with so many outstanding warrants. The reward was exactly $500. I took that money and bought a brand new high-quality security camera for our parking lot. I also bought Mr. Henderson a very nice box of cigars and a bottle of his favorite whiskey. We sat out there that night and watched the new camera feed on my phone. We laughed about how Tiffany thought she was so smart and how she ended up paying for my security system. The alleyway is quiet now, and the gate has been fixed. I do not have to worry about where I am going to park when I come home from work. I do not have to worry about being mocked in my own home. I learned that sometimes you have to stand up for yourself and that you do not have to do it alone. There is power in a community, and there is justice in the world if you are willing to look for it. My name is Evelyn Hart, and I still live in Los Angeles. The sun is still bright, and the rent is still high, but my parking spot is always waiting for me. It is a small thing to some people, but to me, it represents the respect and the space that I worked hard to earn. And if anyone ever tries to park in space number 4 again, they should know that I have Bill on speed dial, and he is always looking for a reason to go fishing. The moral of the story is very simple. Do not take what does not belong to you, and do not assume that the people you are hurting will not fight back, because sometimes the person you are laughing at is the one who will have the last laugh in the end. I am sitting here now looking at my car parked perfectly in its spot. The white Mercedes is a distant memory, and the silence in the lot is the best sound I have ever heard. I think I will go downstairs and check on Mr. Henderson. He said he wanted to show me some old photos of his towing days. It is nice to have friends who have your back. It is even nicer to have a parking spot that is all yours. Los Angeles is a big city with a lot of people, but today it feels just right. I am happy and I am at peace. The revenge was sweet, but the quiet is even sweeter. I will never forget the look on Tiffany's face when she realized her car was gone. It was a look of pure shock, and it was the moment I knew I had won. But the real victory was not just getting her towed. The real victory was taking back my power and showing her that she could not bully me. I am a stronger person now because of what happened. I am more confident, and I am more aware of the people around me. I know that I can handle whatever challenges come my way. And I know that as long as I have my parking spot, I can handle anything this city throws at me. It is a good life, and I am glad to be living it. The end of this story is just the beginning of a much better chapter for me. I am looking forward to many more quiet nights and many more Friday drinks with Mr. Henderson. We are the guardians of the parking lot, and we take our job very seriously. So if you ever find yourself in Los Angeles and you see a shiny white car parked, where it should not be, just remember the story of Evelyn Hart and the woman who thought she could take whatever she wanted. Because in this city, everyone has a story, and some of them have a very satisfying ending. I am glad mine is one of them. I am going to close my laptop now and enjoy the sunset. The sky is turning a beautiful shade of orange and purple, and the air is starting to cool down. It is a perfect evening in California. I hope everyone has a place where they feel safe and respected, and I hope everyone has a neighbor like Mr. Henderson. Thank you for listening to my story. It was a long road to get here, but it was worth every step. I am Evelyn Hart, and I am finally home. Everything is exactly where it should be. The world is a better place when people follow the rules and look out for each other. I am proud to be a part of a community that does just that. I will keep my camera on and my eyes open. But for now, I am just going to rest. I have earned it. The street is quiet, and the birds are singing their last songs of the day. It is a beautiful time to be alive. I am grateful for everything I have. I am grateful for my apartment and my work and my friends. And yes, I am especially grateful for parking space number 4. It is more than just a piece of asphalt. It is a symbol of my life and my hard work, and it is never going to be taken again. I will make sure of that. The end of my story is not just a conclusion, but a promise. A promise to myself to never let anyone walk all over me. A promise to stand tall and to speak up. And a promise to always remember the lesson of the white Mercedes. It is a lesson that I will carry with me forever. And it is a lesson that I hope others can learn from too. Because life is too short to be unhappy, and it is too short to let people like Tiffany win. So stay strong and be kind, and always check the signs before you park. You never know who might be watching, and you never know when a tow truck might be just around the corner. That is the truth of life in the big city. And that is the truth of my life in Los Angeles. I am happy and I am whole. And that is the best revenge of all. I can hear the distant sound of traffic on the freeway, but here in my little corner of the world it is peaceful. I am going to make myself a nice dinner and relax. Tomorrow is a new day, and I am ready for it. Whatever happens, I know I can handle it. Because I am Evelyn Hart, and I have already won the biggest battle of my life. And I did it with the help of a friend and a very old tow truck. It is a good story to tell, and I am glad I could share it with you. Goodbye for now, and remember to always park legally. It will save you a lot of trouble and a lot of money. Take care of yourselves and each other. The world needs more people who care and fewer people who only think of themselves. I am doing my part, and I hope you will do yours too. The sun has finally set, and the stars are starting to come out. It is a beautiful night. I am going to turn off the lights and go to sleep. I know my car is safe, and I know I am safe too, and that is all that matters. Good night, Lowe's angels, and good night to everyone everywhere. I am at peace. I am happy. I am home. The silence is golden and the parking lot is secure. I am content. My story is finished and it is a good one. I will sleep well tonight. I will dream of open roads and free parking spots. And when I wake up, I will be ready to face the world again. Because I know I am strong and I know I am not alone. And that is the best feeling in the world. I am Evelyn Hart and this was my revenge. It was long and it was hard, but it was worth it. I would not change a thing. Every note I wrote and every phone call I made was a step toward my freedom. And now I am finally free. The woman in the white Mercedes is gone and the parking spot is mine. It is a simple victory, but it is a powerful one. It has changed my life for the better, and it has given me a new perspective on the world. I am grateful for the experience even though it was difficult at the time. It made me who I am today, and I like who I am. I am a survivor and a fighter and a winner, and I am ready for whatever comes next. The end. Actually, the beginning of the rest of my life. A life where I am in control and where I am respected. A life that I love. I am so lucky, and I am so happy. This is the end of my story. Thank you for reading it. I hope it inspired you. I hope it made you smile. And I hope it reminded you that you are never powerless. You always have a choice and you always have a voice. Use it just like I did, and you will see that anything is possible, even in a city as big and as crazy as Lowe's Angels. Goodbye, for real this time. I am going to bed. The world is a good place, and I am a part of it. I am Evelyn Hart, and I am home. The lights are out and the door is locked. I am safe. I am sound. I am happy. The parking lot is quiet. The white Mercedes is gone. My car is where it belongs, and I am where I belong. It is a good night. It is a very good night. The end of the story is the best part, because it is the part where everything is right again. And that is exactly how I feel. Everything is right. Everything is perfect. I am so happy. I am so content. I am Evelyn Hart, and I am finally at peace. The long battle is over and I have won. It was a journey of 1,000 miles and it started with a single parking spot. But it led me to a much better place. A place of strength and confidence. A place of community and friendship. A place that I call home, and I am never leaving. I am here to stay. And my parking spot is here to stay too. It is a small piece of the world, but it is my piece, and I will protect it forever. That is my promise, and that is my story. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed living the end of it. The beginning was tough, but the ending was sweet, and that is all that matters. Good night. I am drifting off to sleep now. I can feel the cool breeze from the window. I can hear the quiet hum of the refrigerator. I am so relaxed. I am so happy. I am Evelyn Hart, and I am home. The end. Really the end this time. No more words, just sleep, just peace, just me and my parking spot. Forever. Amen. I am smiling as I close my eyes. It was a good day. It was a very good day. And tomorrow will be even better. I can feel it. I know it, because I am a winner. And I have everything I need. I am loved and I am respected. And I have a parking spot. What more could a girl ask for in Lowe's Angels? Nothing. I have it all, and I am never going to forget how I got it. It was a team effort and it was a victory for the little guy. Or the little girl in this case. We did it. Mr. Henderson and Bill and me. We took on the bully and we won. And we did it with style. I am so proud of us. We are the heroes of our own story. And that is a great thing to be. I am going to sleep now. For real, I am so tired, but it is a good kind of tired. The kind of tired you feel after a long day of hard work and a big success. I am so happy. Good night, I am out. The parking lot is safe. The world is safe. I am safe. I am Evelyn Hart. And I am home, the end of the end. Goodbye, stay safe out there. And remember space number 4 is taken. Forever, by me, Evelyn Hart, 34 years old. Lowe's Angels. California, the end.